Earlier, I spoke to President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, who's overseeing those raids. Mr. Homan, describe the state of play right now in Los Angeles.
Right now, it's calmed down, but last night was bad. It seems that the activity really picks up at nighttime, you know, thank God President Trump did deploy the National Guard to help protect the buildings and help protect our officers. But it's chaos. I mean, a lot of protesters are peaceful. Some of the protesters are not. Some of the protesters quickly become criminals when they burn down cars, they damage government property, and they attack our law enforcement. They're criminals, and I just wish, you know, we all support the First Amendment. They can certainly protest and shout and cover their signs about they don't like what ICE does, but to cross that line on committing criminal activity, it's beyond the pale, and it needs to stop. And that's why President Trump sent the National Guard there to help bring order and at least protect property and protect life.
As you know, Mr. Homan, Governor Newsom has sued the Trump administration, asking a federal court to rule on the National Guard and the Marines being used, essentially saying they should only be used to protect federal property. If a judge rules in California's favor, what will you say to that?
I think it's wrong. I think President Trump's doing the right thing. Governor Newsom's late to the game. I mean, I was on the ground. I was there since last Wednesday. I was there to kick off a major operation. And Friday night, we got thousands of people, 1,000 people surrounding the federal building. We had, you know, our agents were there, and people we arrested earlier that day were there and put them at great risk and did damage to the building. We had several officers hurt. He took several days for him to get there. President Trump didn't hesitate.
Have these protests stopped or slowed any single ICE raid? And if they've even stopped a single one, have they been successful?
No, they're making it more difficult. But no, we're going ahead. We're making record numbers of arrests every day. And like I say, in Los Angeles, even though you got these protests...
Wait, but you are saying, Mr. Homan, you acknowledge they're making it more difficult? I want to make sure I understood you there. They are making these ICE raids more difficult to demonstrators?
No, they're making it more dangerous. But they're making it more dangerous. Our officers with the backing of other federal agencies. It's just not ICE out there anymore. We got DEA, FBI, we got U.S. Marshals, we got ATF. President Trump bought the Hall of Government to do this operation. But I want to make it clear. We've been running the ICE operation in Los Angeles every single day during this protest, and we're arresting a lot of bad people in that city, and we're going to continue to doing it. They're not going to stop us. They're not going to slow us down.
Yeah, I want to put up a tweet for you. I'm going to send it over to you there in that studio. This is what Governor Newsom put on X, right? He put the photos you see there of Marines sleeping on top of each other. This is what he wrote in that post. You sent your troops here without fuel, food, water, or a place to sleep. Here they are being forced to sleep on the floor, piled on top of one another. What do you say to that, Mr. Homan?
I see I ought to take a few moments, go downtown L.A. and look at the damage that's been done by these radical protesters. I mean, President Trump's saving his city. President Trump's doing what he should have done. Governor Newsom could have responded right away and try to quell this disturbance down there, but he supports sanctuary cities. He supports releasing criminal aliens to the streets every day.
President Trump has put on Truth Social, if they spit, we will hit. You've been in law enforcement for decades. Is that the right strategy when things are so tense? ICE officers will defend themselves. Like I just mentioned, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at an officer. Now, in my situation, doing this for 4 decades, if that would have come close and that officer would have sustained, you know, if that fuel would have dumped on and that Molotov cocktail would have lit that officer up, then he's responsible. I mean, he has all the authority in the world to respond with deadly force. Mr. Homan, I understand
ICE officers are going to defend themselves.
A Molotov cocktail, that's a bomb. I get that. And nobody wants to be spit on either. I want to make sure you don't think that we're condoning that either. But I guess it's sort of the temperature check, right? When the president puts out something like that, doesn't it make things hotter?
Look, I think the men and women of ICE and the National Guard are well trained. You've seen the videos. These officers have been hurt. More officers have been hurt than protesters have been hurt. So these people are well trained. They know use of force, the paradigm of use of force. They know when they can take action, when they can't. They've had hundreds and hundreds of hours of training. I trust the men and women in law enforcement to use the proper use of force when needed.
So there's been reports that Stephen Miller has demanded 3,000 people should be deported a day, rounded up and deported a day, and that if not, it's going to lead to firings. Is that something you're going to be able to get to, a goal you'll be able to reach? And is that why you're now targeting day laborers as well?
Look, I agree with Stephen Miller that we need an increase in ICE operations. Man, I've said from day one, I've been asked 1,000 times, am I happy with the numbers? I'm happy we have the most secure border in history of this nation right now, the most secure border ever. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that ICE arrests have tripled the number of arrests under Joe Biden. But because what I just said, 4 years of open border, you know, millions of illegal aliens released in this country. Many are public safety threats. We have a big job to do. So, yeah, we know when ICE arrests 1,000 a day, that's good, but we should be arresting more because we got, right now, as you and I are speaking, we got over 600,000 illegal aliens that we know of with criminal convictions walking the streets of this country. We got to arrest them quicker. We got to make this country safer quicker. Every illegal alien criminal we arrest makes it neighborhoods much safer. Again, which is why we need this budget passed to give ICE resources they need to take this operation, make it more efficient, and increase the numbers of people, criminal threats, national security threats that are going to be removed from this country. We need a budget to do that. I hope they do it, and I hope they do it fast.
Mr. Homan, anything happened over the last few days in Los Angeles that you regret or you wish you would have done differently?
No.
All right, we'll leave it there, Mr. Homan. We appreciate your time and your answers, and thanks for talking to us for such a long period of time. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.